Good morning, everybody. How's it going? Hope everybody had a good weekend. I'm back. Um, so the operation went fairly well. They removed the tumor, a bunch of other growths around. They weren't able to save his kidney. He didn't have the cancers in the lymph nodes, um, and they were kind of wrapped around the kidney, and so they weren't. They had to remove the kidney. The kidney was healthy, but unfortunately, where the tumor was, they couldn't. They had to cut out the kidney as well. So that's a little bit of a bummer. But you can live with only one kidney. So, um, and he's young, he's strong. Um, as of yesterday, they had taken most of the tubes out, um, and he had been up walking around. Pretty big steps considering. I mean, he got cut from the bottom of his rib cage all the way down to his groin area because they had to literally take his intestines out, sit it next to him, and then go in. I mean, talk about invasive surgeries. The frustrating thing about the whole thing is that we couldn't be there because of coronavirus. There's no visitors. There's no one waiting in the waiting room. Um, so we had gotten a hotel room right by the beach. So we sat at the beach for a while and kind of just paced around. The operation took 10 hours, so it was pretty long, or a long time to just sit there and wait and wonder what's going on. But um, talked with him. He's in pretty good spirits. Um, yeah, he's still got a long way to go. He's got some other affected lymph nodes. Oh, there's Griffin. He's looking outside. He's got some other cancerous lymph nodes in his chest that they couldn't get to. So once he heals from this, they'll go and take care of those. So keep your fingers crossed. His battle's not over. One big step, but still got some more. All right, so let's begin. 1549, Jesuit priest Francis Xavier reaches Japan. Um, Francis Xavier, Saint Francis Xavier, as I grew up knowing him, was a Jesuit priest, and he went to Japan, obviously to spread Christianity. He was Jesuit. He was one of the first kind of class of Jesuits. My high school was named after him. I went to Xavier High School. If you remember, Japan was isolated at the time, and they did not allow a lot of foreigners in. They did allow in one city, I think it was Nagasaki. And so he went and he, spread Christianity there. Didn't work out for the Christians there too well because after a certain amount, they started going against the traditional Japanese Buddhist Zen kind of teachings, and they were massacred. Um, Xavier had actually moved on to India by that point to kind of convert them. Also on this day in 1794, Maximilien Robespierre, I just love saying his name, Maximilien Robespierre, is arrested. If you remember when we did the French Revolution, Robespierre was the head of the Committee for Public Safety. And he kept on having a list of all the people that were basically enemies of the state. And all the people that wound up on those lists wound up at the guillotine. I think ultimately like 17,000 were killed. And this was kind of like, okay, enough, Max. You're going to go to the guillotine too. This was kind of the next phase, kind of a calmer phase of the French Revolution. I think it would evolve into the Directory next, and then Napoleon would kind of take over the Director. In a little more lighter news, 1940, a animated short called The Wild Hare is released. introducing the character known as Bugs Bunny. It's always one of my favorite characters. Probably my wife's favorite character. Looney Tunes is one of her favorite cartoons. It's probably her favorite cartoon. Also on this day in 1953, the cessation of hostilities end during the Korean War with the signing of the armistice. There was no peace treaty signed. There was no peace treaty. I think they actually did sign one officially ending it a couple of years ago. But yeah, they didn't stop the war, although the U.S. never actually formally declared war. I'm sure South Korea probably did. Anyway, so this ended. Kind of keeping in line with that, in 42 years later, in 1995, the Korean War Memorial opens in D.C., Washington, D.C. I have been by there. It's a small memorial, but it's nice. Also on this day, 1996, a pipe bomb explodes in Centennial Park in Atlanta, Georgia, during the 1996 Summer Olympic Games. There was just a movie about the guy that they suspected. They suspected that this one guy did it, and I can't remember his name, but dragged all throughout the news and media. His life was ruined. He had done some kind of suspicious stuff, but apparently he was not responsible for it, and his name just got dragged through the mud, and pretty much ruined his life. All right, quote of the day: "The happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts." Marcus Aurelius. So think positive. You'll be a positive person. You'll have a positive life. One can hope. And then the human brain has a capacity to store 5 times as much information as Wikipedia. That's a lot of information. I don't know too many people who actually use all that. I don't know if I do. Maybe. All right, I haven't checked my email. I haven't really kept up to date about school openings and things like that. I've been busy. Thanks for the nice thoughts, and thanks for the videos, Luke. So I don't know. I still don't know. We'll see. I'll check my email eventually to see if we had any information. I know Friday night was graduation. My son did not want to participate. Partly because we had just gotten back from my son's surgery. We weren't sure if we'd be back in time, and we had told them we weren't going to go. And he works in it's essentially a nursing home. It's independent living, but he works with older people, and so he didn't want to risk getting it and passing it along to people. So pretty proud of him giving up his graduation to try to keep other people safe. So I was a little bummed, but we had our own graduation ceremony 2 months ago. We did it on Zoom, and we a bunch of friends, family come in. So I got dressed up in my graduation. He got dressed up in his graduation cap and gown, and I gave him a fake diploma. So we kind of had our family ceremony. So I hope you guys had a good weekend. I hope you guys are staying safe. And I will see you tomorrow. Wow, this video is pretty long. I had a lot to say. See you guys.